I like that one. Yeah. You are listening to the Lost Minds. You say it, that sounds better. You are listening to the Lost Minds podcast.
Let's get this session started with a deep breathing exercise. And by deep breathing exercise, I mean see on the inside.
Hello. What are you doing? Just making a podcast. Bet you cool. You don't like that?
Was that not good start or what?
You're like, welcome to the end. Goodbye.
And bye. Cut.
It's my favorite part is the end of the song. So they just went straight to the end of the song. It's
straight to the ads part. Where we get the revenue is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we should probably do some reads because we got some sponsors now. I think we're sponsored by, who was it?
Sierra Nevada.
The
most tasty beer company that I know of so far because I've only tasted it pretty good.
We're also sponsored by Area 51.
Area 51.
They're telling us that everything we talk about on here is complete bullshit and to convince everyone on here that everything I've ever said about anything is complete bullshit. And that's facts, dude.
It's facts.
Just
facts speak for themselves.
Oh yeah, but I was talking about my Twitch channel though to you in the kitchen when we were eating pizza.
What's your Twitch account?
Oh no, you were talking about what were you
that game I was going to stream.
Streaming.
I was going to stream Squad.
Yeah.
Well, time out. Whatever happened to that one account that you paused it and you had all that gold or whatever?
Oh, dude, so the developers updated the game and they wiped everyone's accounts.
Wow.
Yeah. I posted the picture, though, on the dev blog. Oh. I was like, look what you fuckers owe me.
Damn.
But anyway, yeah, that game's dead now to me and everybody I know. So
well, that's how they go now, it seems like, with Steam games. They pop up so quick, and then they throw them on sale, off sale, on sale. Mm-hmm. I don't have enough time to game, or I would be probably playing all the time. Dude,
it's honestly, these last couple of days, I've had no time to play because I've been working so much. So it's like, as soon as I get home, shower, eat, go to bed. So even though it's bad,
that's how it is for me too. But I like it because then I can play a game forever. You know?
How so?
I never get bored. Like Battlefield 1, I'm still playing that shit,
dude.
Because I'm never playing it.
Yeah, it makes sense. But the game I was talking about, Squad, it's still in early access. So it's kind of like they're developing the game as it's still going.
Beta,
it's not full released. Yeah, it's kind of like a beta game. But the way it's played is, I think it's 2 teams of 32, and then on each team there's 9-man squads, and you get your squad leader. Then you get rifleman, sniper, heavy artillery, or whatever, and it goes all the way down. But so if there's only a squad leader, you can only pick the squad leader role, and then as more people join, other roles open up. So there's only one sniper role in that squad. There's only one heavy gunner. Is
it random?
No, you get to choose it, but once you choose it, nobody else can pick it.
Oh, so they find you a server where you're that guy first?
Yeah, or you pick a different squad and try to get into that role. And what I want to start doing is playing as the squad leader. And what my squad's going to be called is going to be called the Brave Company, so BC. And then I just want to find people who will play with me that aren't a bunch of little bitches, dude. Because
bitch company.
I don't want bitch company. It's got to be Brave Company, dude. Because the other day I was sitting there playing, and it's kind of weird, but everyone kind of falls in order or in line because they'll join your squad, and nobody wants to lead. It's the weirdest thing. Nobody wants to lead. People will create a squad, and then as soon as other people join, they'll assign someone else squad leader.
Nice.
I've joined squads where I'm just a regular rifleman. Next thing I know, I'm in charge. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, dude? I don't want to do it. Why the fuck did you create the squad? There's no other squad, so I created one, and then when enough people joined, it switched out. So what I'm thinking about doing is getting better at it. I suck at it right now. I'm terrible. I'm a terrible leader. Usually I'm like, charge, and get my whole squad killed instantly, quickly. That's how I like to end it, fast.
Well, it sounds like, what is that, the Stanford prison experiment or whatever, where they had all those people just fill in the roles of prisoners and guards and stuff, and they would act it out all the way to the end. So they would all of a sudden become
Become the guards?
Become the guards, yeah. Become the prisoners where they'd even torture them and stuff. Whatever. And they'd flip the roles. It's almost like, I feel like with that, humans kind of just fall in that same role.
They fall in line, and it's weird because they'll suggest things to me. Yeah. They'll be like, should I do this, squad leader? And I'll be like, sounds like a good idea to me. Go do it. And then they'll run off and do it. But then if I call them back, I'll be like, look, I don't want you doing that shit anymore. Come back over here. They'll come back over here and then do whatever I was doing, you know? What I was trying to get my squad to do was like flank around it, because in that game, if you're a squad leader, you can have one of your guys going back and forth between your main base and like your forward base with a truck and bringing you supplies. So with those supplies, you can order your other squad members to build stuff, like put up sandbags, put up barriers, put up a 50 cal machine gun here, you know?
That's
like
pretty cool.
Build stuff so you can like barricade yourselves into like little compounds. And most of the maps are like Middle Eastern, you know? Or in the Middle East somewhere. So there's like all these weird compound like wall areas with a bunch of holes. So you could tell your dudes to like fill them up with sandbags, like protect us. But it never helps if someone like lobs a hand grenade over, you're kind of fucked. So you've got to get high elevation and like inside the compound on top of a house or something and build a bunker up there with 50 cal machine guns looking out in each way. So you can station 4 of your guys up there and be like, look, anybody that you guys see, you shoot at them if they're not friendlies.
It sounds kind of cool, actually. Where you kind of fortify your own base.
Yeah, it's really cool and like
Sounds time consuming.
Yeah,
it's about an hour-long game. It takes them a really quick. Because as soon as you place in squad leader, you could see like a green picture where you're going to place the sandbag wall, and as soon as you place it, it shows them, and you could just tell them over a microphone, "Hey, I need someone building this sandbag," and someone will walk over there, and it takes maybe less than 5 seconds to put up the sandbag wall because it's just like the sandbag wall gets built.
In-depth Age of Empires?
Kind of, yeah. And then you guys have to hold that like position, and then you could set up a forward operating base, also known as a FOB, and other members from your army can spawn in on that. Not just your squad members, but other squads can spawn in on that. So you basically build a forward base and barricade it and barricade yourselves in there, and then other members from your same team can spawn in there, not just your squad members. So you'll have other squad leaders talking to you, and the way they have it set up is there's an all talk, so you can talk to anybody within the vicinity of you. So if it's just you and another guy in the same squad and you don't want to talk to the rest of your squad, you could talk within vicinity, so you and him will hear each other. And then there's squad chat, so whatever I say holding down the squad button, everybody in my squad hears it. And then as squad leader, there's squad lead chat, so squad leaders can talk to each other. So if let's say I'm squad leader 1, I'll be like, "Hey, squad leader 2, I need backup over here." He'd be like, "There's squad leader 2, go fuck yourself." Then I'm screwed, right? But only the squad leaders hear that. And then I have to relay that back to my squad, be like, "Well, we're screwed, you know. We're the only guys left on this ridge, and just so happens to be called Hamburger Ridge for a reason, because everyone gets turned into hamburger up here. It's nice knowing you, boys." But then we make it out because I call some badass strats. I'm like, "Smoke grenades out on the ridge, flashbangs to our rear," and we fucking
Bet you'd flashbang the rear.
You'd be like, "Come on, everybody, flashbang my rear."
One at a time.
I'm like, "One more time before we run down."
Make sure each one of you get yours.
Get your flashbangs out
It sounds
ready.
similar to a game where I remember playing where you were just like the commander. So you would kind of run. There's Bravo and Alpha.
Is it SOCOM?
Not SOCOM, but you'd have
Ghost
4
Recon?
guys, and it was in the squad. You'd have Bravo and Alpha, and you'd have them kind of do areas, and each kind of guy in the squad also did like heavy machinery sniper. So you could break up the squad on a corner or something. You would send the heavy guys
Desert
down low.
Storm?
I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was pretty cool. It was a tactical game like that.
Men of Valor?
But except for you didn't control kind of an individual person. No, wasn't it in Men of Valor? It was some kind of, I wouldn't not Command and Conquer, but
Yeah, I remember that game. They were supposedly using it in the army, right?
Yeah,
to
some kind
like
of training.
train their.
Oh, it's America's Army.
maybe it was America's Army. I don't know.
It was.
It was America's Army. AA. Because I played that game, and they had a game mode on there which was like a qualifier. You had to beat it without being detected or something. You make it through the entire compound without being detected. But I was like 5 years old when I did that and failed miserably. I bet if I did it now, I'd be like, "Goddamn, SOCOM, U.S. Navy SEAL, kill everyone before I get to the end."
Is that games are different now? I always see at least memes and stuff on the internet where, and the way I feel like with most games, you get a game, it's pretty much free or it's cheap as shit, and there's nothing really included. And once you get the game or finally get the package
No,
or
it's
whatever.
expensive. $60 a game.
Dude,
Then
get
you
some
buy
games, yeah.
everything in game. Like, there's so much in game content. If you wanted this, you want that, and we want this.
That's how the Division was, dude. I paid $60 for that game, and now it's like, would you like to pay another $30 to expand the map a little bit? And it's like, well, fuck, all right, I'm $90 in. Halfway through, it's like,
Shit,
would you like
what the-
another $30
it's
expansion
shitty.
to get another chunk of the new
That all
map?
your friends are playing
Yeah.
in? And
Yeah.
It's like, you can't really expand. Come on, bro. Like, just jump
Where did
in.
they go? I have to check it out.
Yeah. This could go on forever. And then you finally hit like $500, and it's like, sorry, but you can't play anymore. The servers are down.
Yeah, we're stopping.
We're stopping the servers because we're not making money.
Like, you just said magic word.
It's I'm like, motherfucker. That's a good meme, dude. You know what? I'm going to do that on my troll account. It's going to be the guy. When I play CSGO, I'm just going to hang out on B site, and whenever I kill him,
So imagine that shit. Think of RuneScape. Everyone gets a monthly $5 subscription. There's millions of people playing. Think how much money,
$5 million a month.
dude.
Damn.
What would you do with that much money? I'd blow at least $1 million on hookers. I mean, strippers.
Dude,
A
at least
month.
as of right now, I could think of ways I could spend it, but if I were to put it in some like high-end savings account or something, it'd be hard probably for me to spend the interest on it.
Well, you'd have to pay your servers. You'd have to pay technical support. That'd be about $1 million a year.
I would
not
probably
more.
be able to pay more to maybe keep people away from me more than like have more servants.
I'd
with
buy an
me.
island. I'll tell you what.
Or a spot in the mountain.
Sandbags.
Think how bad that would be to have a bit like a ranch or something. You know, you just got a bunch of property you can kind of screw around on, and maybe even you're not too far away from town, but you're far enough away that you know you're not being bugged or anything. So you can kind of, I don't know. If you had, I would like to be able to shoot guns on it, you know, or go if they had a spot where.
How much do you
could have
think
a
an oil
fishing area.
platform costs? Like the moving ones.
I don't know, I don't know if I want something like that.
Why not? You can be out in the middle of the fucking ocean. You have a helicopter there if you need to
Tsunami.
leave.
It's like.
It won't do anything. It'll just raise and lower you because you're in the middle of the ocean. Tsunamis don't swell until they get closer to land. So even if there's a huge tsunami, it's just going to lift your boat up.
What if it's like the perfect storm? It's like, and the wave's huge. It's like, and it just flips them over. So,
Helicopter, dude.
heavy winds. Blow you down.
Submarine, dude.
Yeah, you're just under it. It's just like, what's going on? Well, apparently, it's the perfect storm. My dick.
Listen, you feel a bump from below.
It's a fucking kraken.
Yeah, he's waking in the storm.
It fucking
Just
eats
think
your
how much
crew
of
members.
that we haven't even explored. I would like to hear some conspiracies about what's underneath the water. I'd start believing that kind of shit. There's so much we haven't even explored.
Dude, I'm telling you, everyone thinks aliens are coming from above. They're coming from below.
I played a
Atlantis.
game where that was like that, where the aliens came in, they're from a water planet, and they went into the water, and they had to like design almost like fighter jets that would go underneath and fight the aliens. I always wondered if some shit like that would happen, because how we're fighting like Europa and all that stuff. Where
Have
can go
you
into the
seen
water.
our fucking underwater submarines that explore?
No,
If
they're,
those
like,
were
so
fighter jets,
slow.
they'd be like handicapped. It's like, me.
Gotta wait 5 minutes before I can continue.
Load a torpedo. It's just like whoosh, grabs it. By that time, it's compressed into one little breach, and it's like.
Well, that's what they were talking about. The Challenger Deep that went down into the Marianas Trench. Their hull was actually starting to compress.
That's so crazy.
Damn.
It's like boom. Oh god,
Pressure.
we're gonna die. Just imagine being in that canister when it popped. You'd only see,
That soda can when it crushed.
about half a second, then you'd be dead.
Oh yeah, that'd be intense. You remember
That-
those can crushers? You'd put a can in, you pull the lever,
Yeah.
put them flat. That's basically it's like, pretty much once it goes, like,
Just smush you, dude.
Damn.
I wonder if it'd be the same as in your lungs.
Yeah, you do.
A
You
little
turn
air.
into a. You turn into like a slushy.
At the end of the can.
They're like, we lost camping pressure. Pull them up.
Little tiny can comes up on the end of the line. Oh, he's in there.
There's a little ass crab just crawling around. Like, what the fuck's going on? And you're like, squished in a little ball. It's like crawls on.
Well, they had the. What the hell is it called? On YouTube, you can watch the crabs that get sucked into the pipes because they're sitting there like eating the bubbles that are coming off. But it's an inverted pipe, so like it's sucking water into it, and the crab gets too close to the pipe, and it's a little like pinhole pipe, hole in the pipe, and it turns this huge crab into like nothing. Just pulls him in there.
Damn.
Just sucks him in. He's gone. Just there's little pieces of powder left, and like fish are eating him.
See, that's another crazy thing. What's inside the earth? You know, all the pressure and stuff. What if there was? I can't remember. Not a Lemmings game. It was like almost like Where's Waldo? You'd see stuff, and there was like lava people. Imagine that. It's like a lava world. Yeah. So you go inside this whole thing, and so there's that whole area where magma is. But basically, they live in a
Those are called demons, dude.
Yeah, it's a lava.
That's hell.
That's hell.
But you never know. You think about the earth, like how we even have a lot of animals like ants and stuff that just build all this like infrastructure. What if there's a whole system of Bigfoots all underground?
That's how they stay hidden.
Ants.
People don't know.
That's why they're furry, because they got to stay warm, you know?
Mm-hmm. Even though I think it's 4 meters underground, nothing freezes.
4 meters. Oh, I guess you have the frost heave level. What
yeah,
is
there's
that?
frost level.
Depending on the state you live in, huh? What is Utah's? That's true.
It's about 4 meters, I think.
What does it depend on? The sea level?
No, it's just the insulation of the dirt or something.
And then, like how much moisture, like some of the humidity, I think. So much moisture is in your dirt. So that, like, if you don't go below it, then in the wintertime, what is it, like freezes, and in the summertime it melts, and so your house frost heaves. And it like goes loose. If you go past that shit, then it just stays solid. Which is, anywhere you go, there's got to be a limit. So it's probably like 4 feet and some
4 meters, I think. I think it's 4 meters, but I'm not a scientist again.
Say 10 meters guaranteed, probably.
Dude, that's one thing I really want to build is a doomsday bunker. Like, how cool would that be to have a badass doomsday bunker?
Cooler to have just like a little tiny house above, and then like a mansion underneath your house.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a little regular looking house.
Mm-hmm, tiny house.
And like 1 bedroom, a bathroom, kitchen, living room, and below that, somewhere hidden in there.
A bookshelf that you have to pull a certain book.
Yeah, you go down and it's like the Umbrella Corporation.
Badass.
And people are like, why do you have this? Why not? That's what I would do if I was a billionaire.
Windows would be cool, though. That's only one thing, but...
Windows?
That's what you just have screens that would project like different times of the year through like screens. So like you would have to actually, what are these called? Curtains?
Mm-hmm.
You'd actually have, blinds. So you'd have to like spin the blinds for light to actually come through.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It's artificial light. Yeah, it's artificial light coming through real screens.
That would trick me.
Yeah, it would trick me too. I'd be like, we're on the Dubai Tower right now. It's like, what?
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd trick me too. I would like to have even a spot.
Except that'd be creepy.
Even having a bug out spot, but underneath area.
Underneath Area 51, I bet there's an Umbrella Corp style building. The Hive.
That'd be interesting.
Guaranteed.
Dude.
I don't know.
Sponsored
Even
by
having it
Area
underneath
51.
would be so weird. I feel like I'd enjoy it, but at the same time,
You wouldn't know you're underneath, though. It'd feel like you were in a skyscraper.
I'd definitely have like an underwater mode.
That would be cool,
so it
too.
looks
Like an
like you're
aquarium
underwater, yeah.
level where everything is underwater.
Have a shark come right up to
say
it.
you just have the aquarium anyways, so it's like built into the walls, you know.
Damn, how much
Just
money
for them,
do you
or they
have?
know, you know. Shit, dude. I one time did electrical work for this dude.
The animals wouldn't know.
I don't want to say their last name, but there's these 2 guys, and they invented a little chip that goes inside the modem for like Comcast modems, internet modems. So they're freaking buttload riches. He's got a whole big ass area where he's bought the other house next to him already because he wants the property. It's another mansion. And when you first drive in off the road that comes through a gated community, he bought the other guy's garage in his property and redecorated the side of the house with a fake-looking house, so it looks cooler when you drive in. So it's the side of the guy's house. They decorated it to look like a house. When you come in, there's all these statues and shit of all these kids playing in ponds and things they have. It's statues of his kids. He's made molds of them and stuff, and they're out playing and stuff. And you go into his house, and it's this huge mansion's bowling alley downstairs. Freaking got secret rooms. And when we first went there, he's like, "Hey," he's like, "Come here, man." He's like, "You guys want?" He's like, "You want to come here?" He's like, "Come here,
Come touch this.
bookshelf and everything." He pulls a little thing. It's like opens up, and it's kind of like a little, I guess, man cave. It's like a second kitchen. And you go in there. He's got a fountain machine, Coke fountain and stuff. He's like, "You guys want us to pop? Want to sneak a pop?"
Fucking Bill Cosby'd your ass.
Dude,
Yeah.
You want a soda?
A little Jesus juice.
Get the one on the left. That's the best one.
Well, I had to pull my pants down. He's like, "Whoa, it's not that kind of thing." He's like, "I'm actually just a really nice guy." But it was really cool. And when I was a little bit younger, I always wanted a Coke machine in my house. I was like, that's when you made it, you know, Coke fountain. Because I would drink 6 to 12 packs.
Root Canal Factory is what I call them.
But I'm glad I'm not drinking soda no more. But when I was doing that, and I remember seeing that, and I was like, this guy is badass. He's got all kinds of cool shit, but he was filthy rich and you really didn't have to do much. And we even ended up doing his partner's house, and it was almost like a similar thing. They just had just a crazy amount of
Weird
shit.
shit.
You should have hurt yourself, man.
And so, I mean, for as far as when you get into something like that, freaking, it's endless. I just seen Canelo Alvarez buy a $1.6 million custom Mercedes. It's look like a truck dually, but it's got two wheels instead of a dually being side by side. They're lateral, so it's technically got 6 wheels touching the ground.
Wow, fuck.
It's one of a kind and stuff, but it's like a truck bed Mercedes thing. 1.6 million. If people have that money to down, let's say you put that into a wing in your house, even if knowing people, you could do that for a pretty good deal and stuff.
I would do a doomsday bunker hardcore, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just weird like that.
Would
I'd
you
do
do it
a
underground?
badass
Like a
doomsday
50
bunker.
cal that just comes out of nowhere.
I'd like
Laptop
to have it
gun.
above ground. It'd be cool to kind
Identify
of get some
yourself,
oasis.
human.
You could take like a mountainside, and then maybe kind of Minecraft style, dig out the whole top area where like sun and everything comes, but it's like a hidden oasis. You'd have to like fly like a freaking pterodactyl up there, There's no more power or nothing. It's like, there the people are. Like, up in there. But basically, it looks like maybe Devil's Peak, where, oh man, there's something up there. There's only one way up, and that's the only way up. You just like have it all blocked, But you have your little paradise up there for the apocalypse. That'd be dope. Where you're kind of out in this thing, you could, grow plants and stuff like.
So
maybe
people can
along those
attack you
lines.
from the air?
If they had that technology, dude, over time, they'd run out of gas. I mean, who's mining gas? If we went to apocalypse time, who's like going...
What if there was
to get
other
fresh oil?
millionaires that had helicopters and they're like, we'll take our sniper
but
unit
when
up
they
there.
run out of
Sniper unit
like,
69.
Most of those people will
69,
crash in
shit
a
out of
panic
them.
at the beginning to be like, we got to go to safety, man. And at that point, because everyone will panic, all the helicopters will rise into the sky at the same time, and it'll just be like a giant traffic jam, and they'll bump into each other.
Helicopters, what?
Yeah, all the rich people with the helicopters, they'll probably try and flee at the same time. So the helicopters
And
will
they're
all
just
go in the air at
standing
the
in
same
line
time.
like, go, goddamn.
So the sky will go from 0 helicopters to like 20, and those bump into each other. Chain reaction. All the rich people will die in their helicopters.
Wow. Good thing I own an airplane.
We should go get a pilot's license. Side note,
Dude, those are fucking expensive.
I think I'm
But it would
too
be so
dark
cool,
to
though.
get
It would
my
be so
license.
Yeah, they'll be like,
Yeah,
sketchy.
about that.
We can't. Last time we did this, bad stuff happened.
Shoot, my grandpa used to have out in Browns Park, where was an area for them. There was nothing around.
Were the
You'd
aliens?
fly out there, and basically, bam, basically like a D-Day thing. That would be sweet. Be able to have a plane fly out to your remote area. I bet there's some areas, maybe not in Utah, but certain parts of North America, definitely in Canada. So would be places where a lot of people maybe have never even gone. Maybe footsteps have never been. Because
That's where you build your doomsday bunker.
there'd be some remote areas,
I would do it underground, dude.
I mean, caves, I know, as far as being spelunking status, no one ever goes into them. Usually, if you go into a cave, the chances of you going in the same cave someone else has, if it hasn't been marked out, you'd probably be going into the cave maybe the same time. If you see hieroglyphics, that person was the last. It's because there's so many caves that no one has really even had that amount of time to explore them
The
all.
chance
check
of you
them all.
getting out of the cave.
So as you
Some
were,
are bad, yeah.
so as you were sitting there talking about your caves, I was thinking like, if I did have all this money and you hired a group of people to build it, like those people would know, right? Like they would know where your place is at. So what I would do is hire people from like India or something, like contractors from India and the construction workers from India or like Russia.
And you kill them.
No, I'd send them back to their homeland because they'd just fly out to a random place, get on a small little airplane, fly to where my place is at. Like my pilot would bring them there.
Where would your place be?
I can't tell you that.
You got to do it like the government, man.
And then they would build, and then they'd get back in the airplane and fly back to their homeland and be like, we went to some random ass fucking place and built, this compound. It was awesome. He had miniguns, face detection, freaking landmines. He had a grizzly bear. Dude, it was crazy.
That'd be cool. Well, I hate always going back to the electrical
That's
stuff.
level 3 entrance, grizzly bear.
But when I was doing that electrical job,
Good luck.
Unless she's hibernating, then I'm fucked.
they're like, there it is.
She never does, though. We have her on shots, adrenaline. As soon as someone comes in, she gets stung with it. And
Steps on a landmine.
Chain reaction.
There goes. Door
Like
opens up.
dominoes.
Fuck, they're in.
I should have put a lock on my door.
God damn it, I knew it. At least a combination lock.
It's like, what's the code? It's like too late.
They just guess a random number. They're like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ding. Granted. Oh, damn, I should have changed it from the default one. Who guesses the default code?
You'd be surprised how many people leave their codes as 1, 2, 3, 4.
Dude, I was watching this YouTube video about hackers, and he was talking about how his computer got stolen, and he kept trying to find his computer, like reported it, went to pawn shops, and was trying to find it, and he had it was a Mac or something, so he could watch it.
I watched this where he like watched the guy and see him on camera and stuff, and met him, and
And he like, so one day the computer turns on, and he's like, oh shit, dude, like it pinged me, like the computer is still alive, it works. So he kept trying to find it, and somehow got back into the computer and started like keylogging his own computer, and eventually started taking pictures from his own computer camera and got pictures of the guy and found everything about him. But my brain is like completely fried, so I completely lost track of where I was going.
Well, I know where I was going to take it back when you were talking about with bringing in contractors to kind of so you can break it up. When I was doing electrical work for that company with the NSA, that's the way they did it. They hired all these temps, and they brought them in, and they had them running the pipe. And once they had them all running the pipe and everything was kind of done, they fired them all. Hired in a bunch of new contractors. They came in, put a whole other wire, started getting pretty far, fired them all. Bring in a new contractor, different ones. They started landing all the wires, wiring everything. When they started getting ready to fire it up, do all that stuff, fired them. Bring in another crew. Pretty much about that time, it was their own crew. So at no point did anything or any crew know when it was finished. And we happened to have a temp that started at our company who was working there at a time. And he's like, at the most random times, a bell would go off. And he's like, when you hear that bell, he's like, you leave the premise. He was like, you get off. And they had to park off the thing, and they would all have to walk down and get out and get on their trucks.
Damn.
It's like, me. And he's like, we were there for the whole portion of it. We ran all the pipes, and then pretty much we're gone. And then some of the guys were like, yeah, that's how some government jobs are. You do it, and the next thing you know, they have a new crew coming in, kind of to protect themselves for that same reason.
At least they didn't gun them down.
Because they watch Star Wars, man.
Come get your chowder.
Yeah.
Get your chowder, boys.
Line up.
Oh, man, dude, I
So
can't believe it.
This is what's happening, boys. We're getting killed.
Oh, God, I didn't even get to finish my chowder. There is no chowder, you idiot. Oh, God.
I could see that kind of shit because you drive by there and...
It's just boots sticking out of the
ground.
ground.
Because now, I mean, you see anywhere up the mountain, you can kind of see where it's lit up. But on the entrances to it and stuff, we have highway patrolmen just sitting there, constant duty by the gates. We pay a little bit of money for this to guard this area where they supposedly save everything we're saying. So probably this, at least.
What do you mean? They save
NSA, that is that supply bank, the one that's up on the Cowan and Bluffdale. It's pretty much that storage unit or whatever. I remember putting a video on that shit on my Facebook page way back in the day when I was working there in 2007 or 2008. I'm like, there's crazy shit going on, and people are like, yeah, whatever. It's like, next thing you know. Because there's an old whistleblower who was also in there way before, and then pretty much when Snowden came out, they got public, all that stuff. And I remember, I don't know, when I heard people talking about that stuff, because I remember we would even go to weird areas where we were working at a building and we were doing different floors, and we had to go through a floor, and they wouldn't let people go through the floor. And they were kind of...
What would they do? Block you at the staircase?
Well, no, we had to drill through the floor because it was in a high-rise building. And a lot of times you had to go to the floors and stuff. Side note, I've driven through or drilled through things and dropped pipe, and it went through the floor and down through the T-grid and into a lady's desk one time. It was like a pipe. It was doosh! But it was at a pipe thing where there was no one there, but the pipe went through. And so... that kind of thing, but we were trying to get through the holes in the areas we had to, and they kind of wouldn't let anybody. You have to schedule time, all this stuff. And
so you drilled through a ceiling, and they wouldn't let you go to the next floor to drag your line.
No, we had to, but we had to figure out a time. And we'll figure out your time, and then we'll let someone go down there, and then you can figure out where you work. You'd get a cement cutter, so it'd be like a hole saw, basically a giant wet one. You'd be and cut through the cement, just this big ass drill, and then you'd slide the pipe through it. So it should be something similar. Width, barely smaller. But you'd have to go down, catch it, pull it, whatever. And at this point they weren't letting anyone go in there and stuff. And once we finally got to go, one guy got to go in there, and he's like, "Hey, guess what do you think? What do you think was in there?" And like, what was he like? It was just like an FBI place. And so they're like, "Oh, so it was kind of a secret place, and it was just a bunch of servers, a huge like it was basically they just bought a floor in a random building that was in Sandy." That no one knew what it was. It wasn't listed as anything. We didn't know what it was until we had to finally go in it. It was like a supply bank for like all these servers and stuff. And so it was just like a save house thing or whatever. But
just
it was
random ass
you
floor.
wouldn't think of
That's
it there,
nuts.
and so you're just kind of okay. That was the same with those. So when you actually do construction, so I have a lot of interesting construction stories because you see the guts of it underneath.
Yeah, you see all the crazy hidden flat Earth stuff.
Yeah, I worked in a weird house with this one meat dude who has a big old meat factory, livestock factory. But these big ass nice houses that are up kind of in the avenues, they have crazy ass like tunnels and shit, that you go crawling through and like escape ones and whatnot.
Like from house to house?
I don't know about house to house, but at least through a lot of their property.
Uh-huh.
And oh man, we'd remodel people's houses. I remember one time we came in and we were like joking about some of this stuff, and my cousin was like doing something on this plug, and we were joking about a chandelier coming that they refurbished from somewhere in Italy or whatever, and it was like thousands of dollars. And we're like, it's thousands of dollars. And the guy was joking with my cousin. He's like, "You think that's crazy?" He's like, "That rug you're kneeling on and stuff with your boots." He's like, "That's hundreds of thousands of dollars." You're like, "Oh fuck," because there's a certain group of people that are saying they're fucking with money. You can't comprehend. They bring it in. We're seeing, this is so cool. I guess it's fancy, whatever, and it's a 6-figure rug. You're like, oh my god.
How do you get a taste for 6-figure rugs?
No, I don't see the appeal in it.
Do you know how? It's the blood, sweat, and tears of another person you're paying for.
That's true.
Because you're like, how did this rug get made? Well, they're like, 3 people died making it over a lifespan.
And
That's worth about $600,000.
It's this old
6 shillings.
It's 100 years old, and it went through 2 generations of carpet makers to make it. Like the grandfather died, and the father almost finished it, so the son finished it by hand. And it's like, I'll buy it. That's freaking unique. Who else has one of those? Let me tell you, nobody.
It was
Fucking
Hitler's.
nobody.
It's true, one of a kind customs. That's how a lot of them are. They want that like notch in their belt, So,
one of a
you
kind.
have this. Well, I have this.
It's. I think it goes back to the primitive ape thing, where it's collecting the greatest items that other apes don't have.
The shiny object.
The shiny object, yeah. Everybody has it, I even have it.
Well, I listened to a weird
Picking up
podcast
rocks.
with they were saying where men are kind of like psycho trained to like with the sex response, to like reproduce and all this stuff, based off how like a woman chooses the mate and stuff. And some of that is, a shiny object. I have this that puts me a separate, so I can provide this or whatever. And so some of our drive is based mainly. So a lot of the attitudes and things that we perceive and sometimes maybe women may see as like disrespectful or piggish and stuff is kind of a result of the type of person that they would choose, brutish or this, that, and the other. And so it's kind of wired into us to act like this because this attracts this. And so a lot of responses and stuff are in turn because we know it might cause this out of a female or whatever.
Or out of an enemy.
Yeah, even that.
Expensive cars.
So yeah, it
big
becomes like that
house.
flashing thing,
Expensive carpet. Sweet chandelier.
See, for me, I would have weird ass shit where they'd go into my weird ass house and it'd probably be pretty modern, pretty simple. I'd definitely probably buy a bunch of IKEA shit, because it'd be simple and easy. And then all of a sudden,
Yeah, right.
they'd come in my
You'd pay
backyard
people to build your stuff out of logs.
I would get a lot of custom stuff, yeah, for sure. I know some cool guys that can make some badass shit. But I would have like weird ass shit, like what's that back there flying? Oh, that's my new drone. What kind of drone is it? It follows you. It's cool. I just pick one person and it heat signals and it can just follow you around the house. So pretty much I'll be able to watch a video thing of you after. It's like, what the? I'd have some. That's the money I'd dump on just like dumbass technology things. Well, I don't know.
It's a DD drone.
You can get your
Not like
Roomba
the house.
Rumby.
Defensive
I
drone.
heard of a Rumby thing that this girl we went to Denver with was like talking about her friend had one. And the dog had like ran over there and took a shit on the carpet, and the Rumby tried to like take it up, but it was like wet, just barely, and he couldn't like snag it all, and it started flinging fucking shit all over the place, shit up the wall and stuff.
Hell yeah.
And so then it went back through and tried to get it
Hell
all. And
yeah.
after a while, once it dried up, it got some of it, but just tracked the shit all over, whipped it all over. Oh man.
Damn.
I can just imagine it in my head. I'm just sitting there. Just
That's the
imagining it.
freaking attack from
I just
the very
imagine
first
them.
attack.
I imagine them just chasing the Roomba, and it's just running
Leave me
away.
alone, humans. I'm doing my job.
Working. It's like,
Why must you hate me?
that'd be the worst. Freaking diarrhea. It's
I'd get rid of the dog, not the robot.
at that point, the damage is done. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
What's the worst that happens? Diarrhea is in the same room, or diarrhea is flipped all over. I mean, it's already been diarrheaed in.
You know what?
You just justify it. Yeah, I feel better. I blast you.
I'm like an evil king or ruler. Yeah.
Joffrey.
It's like, you were in my way, peasant. No, I'm sorry, sir. I was trying to get to work. Get rid of him. No, please, take him away.
You'll now be working to sharpen the knife. Boys, use this spine.
Oh, dude, I'd be a terrible ruler. I think if I had a custom house and I was super rich, guns. I'd have lots of guns and a laptop gun. Because I don't know why, but in Perfect Dark, when you have the laptop gun, you throw it up, and if it sees anybody that isn't you, it just shoots them. That'd probably be my thing.
Combining all the things we just talked about, I think if you were a single guy and you had millions of dollars, you build the mansion under your tiny little shack.
Mm-hmm.
You take your woman to see how faithful she is. I mean, if she's living in a shack, you keep her there for about a year, and then you're like, well, you pass the test. Pull the book on the shelf.
She's like, I already knew about it. You're a freaking idiot.
I'd have a couple spots, so it'd be kind of hard to determine which location is covered. So we'd have to thin out the crews to kind of figure out where location would be in, instead of having all one concentrated.
That's right. Location.
Blindfolds.
Because really, I mean, isn't there's so many islands out there, sometimes people are buying islands or something. You can rename an island, it's not even yours or something.
You could. I think if you have enough money, you could buy an island.
I know they're making islands for you. You have freaking just get an island.
Dumping Chinese sand into the ocean. Serious, I think that's what they do. They're taking sand from China or something, and they just dump, or India. I think China's taking sand from India. They're like, thank you for Chinese sand, bitch. And they like put it in the ocean and make islands. I think that's what they do.
I
the coral reefs. The coral reefs.
Make islands out of your bones. Right? Dude, in some countries...
How'd you like to buy Bone Island? What's it made of? Why is it called Bone Island?
How does the sand feel upon your bare feet? Nice, right? Yes, you must buy this island.
Like these soft little pebbles. This is the craziest feeling. This is...
Is that a tooth?
Yeah, I feel like minerals or something. It's like,
You're like, dude, I spent one night here and I feel like I've been haunted by 1,000,000 souls.
Shit, they have stories of them basically running up on whole mountains of bones, seeing white mountains of bones rolling.
Yeah, that's just a waste. Why not grind them up, put them in the ocean, and make an island?
Fish food.
Fish food? I think
if you just dropped them, it'd be almost like how when we were in the Mediterranean, the whole beachside and stuff are really small pebbles, but they're not that small yet because they haven't been whipped a lot, like how the waves have whipped the beach where they've made it.
They were just small stones.
So they're really small stones, but they're slowly getting built there.
But it was nice.
It's not, and so it's super salty because it's not pulled out. It was actually really cool. Yeah.
But imagine an island in the middle of the ocean made with human bones, ground up human bones.
If grass was growing on, it'd be all right. But
they just have one area with like dirt.
It was good fertilizer, but who knows? It's probably not good fertilizer.
Bones? Bone meal is, I guess, good. It grows food instantly in some games.
Bone meals?
Yeah, bone meal. Ground up bones. Mixed in with dirt.
Maybe being nutrients or something of some form. I feel as anything
Calcium.
you just kind of ground up in there would be a good form of nutrients and stuff for it, rather than,
that island would have some Banff trees growing on it.
We're going to do that in the cornfields.
Skull
because all that
coconuts.
area, like Iowa and all that stuff, where it's all becoming a whole wasteland where you can't even fertilize or regrow anything because the soil has pretty much been tapped of all the nutrients.
I wonder if
Grind
that's
up all the
possible.
bones.
You know how people take watermelons and they put them in squares? And like you get square watermelons?
Oh, yeah?
You've never seen that?
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought you were thinking of like cutting them up. I'm like, I could go for a watermelon. I like cut up in cubes, however. I like them in triangles as well.
You're like, dude, I like my watermelons anyway, just as long as I'm eating watermelons.
I like watermelons.
No, like
My
they grow them in
face.
like a square or wooden
I
square.
seen it on a Vsauce or something.
Now imagine if you took an inverted skull, like a small version of it, but made out of steel, and you put it around a coconut as it was growing. Would that coconut grow into the shape of a skull?
Oh, I bet. Think about it. I was wondering if you
Or
did
do
with
they
a
grow with,
baby,
like,
dude. You
weird
put a
husk
box
on
on a baby's head. Fucking next thing is a blockhead. The
Minecraft.
first blockhead baby.
He is a
Minecraft.
first Minecraft.
It's PewDiePie the second. Oh no.
Oh, crap. I think that would be against humanity or something if you did that to a child. Because I know that they did it in Egypt.
Well, they do that.
They
They,
wrap
do it
their heads.
in
People
Africa,
already-
right? With the neck rings.
Yeah, but imagine if they
elongate
wrapped your
their
head.
necks.
Even with the
like,
plates
tightly.
in your mouth and shit. Fuck.
Oh, God. In your lips.
Some of the shit that some of the people do, especially for... I always wanted to try a bunch of like rituals. I thought that'd be so cool to like go to different cultures.
Stretch
and-
your neck out.
Not that way, but almost where some of them are like, hey, get bit by this ant.
A rattlesnake.
Or, all right, sure, whatever. A lot of them, they'll have them like take a boga or something where they'll like throw up all over the place and pretty much have some crazy food poisoning, and then they do a thing where they have the people that are turning of
18?
age or whatever it is pick up a giant log and fucking run. Like 4 of them
They'll
carry
give
this
'em a
big
log
ass
to pick up.
log, and they all have to run almost kind of sideways with it for miles and miles after they've been throwing up all night, no energy. Or some tribes they have them like
Fight
eat
a lion.
mushrooms and fight, like protect a carcass, or whatever all night long and stuff. So they'll be tripping on mushrooms, hoping no animal gets it. And when they come back, they become a man. Things
If
like
they
that would
come
be
back.
really interesting. Shoot, well, that's the one that's in that Terrence McKenna book where the one guy that at one point ends up waking up and there's a lioness there and he sees it and then he becomes like kind of in tune with the whole thing and the lion doesn't notice him and goes back to start eating the carcass and he just pulls himself up, sticks it, kills the lion, and then that morning comes back with the carcass and the lion and they end up making him like the king of the town or whatever.
Damn.
Damn, gangster, dude.
Yeah, basically. And what he said, it was like he was tripping out, but he was sitting there, and then could tell that it was there, almost seeing it Daredevil status, and just opened up his eyes, and the lioness was staring him right in the eyes, and just was staring
And
staring
when it
at
attacked
and
him,
it
he
just
fell
walked
down.
away, just turned around and started eating the carcass, kind of not even acknowledging him, almost as if it was part of the earth. And then the thing is, it just rose up and it was just, and then it could almost feel where the heart was, and just went in there. It was like microdosing. Supposedly, when you microdose, you become
A
really
demon?
like hyper aware and stuff.
What is microdosing?
You take a little bit of mushrooms instead of like a high dose, where you start tripping. Your body kind of just becomes almost like super freakish. You have crazy awareness. Because when you do mushrooms, you notice things at a different
Frequency?
kind of. You see things different. We always describe it different. You don't see a tree, you see 1,000 leaves so it's kind of that same.
So doing a
sense.
little bit is technically better than doing a lot.
Kind of, yeah. You can do a lot. Is good for a psycho thing. If you're working out things in your head, you get stressed out. I can't do this. I can't do that. But if you fight it all, you end up kind of learning control and stuff, where you can kind of hash it out, even where you sit there and force the bad things to whatever. And then there's the other one that does the opposite, where it's supposedly not that bad.
So a little bit would what? Focus you?
This is supposedly how it goes, but that's how they do a ritual. A lot of the rituals in different tribal countries is some crazy, drug. Sometimes it
Ayahuasca.
puts you in a crazy point, It's like almost with like natives, you do sometimes different drugs, or they send you out there into a hop thing where you don't eat for so long until you get to the point of being disoriented, and they send you out and do whatever it is. Come find your way back, or
If you
be
can.
sustainable when you're disoriented. So you get to these crazy points, and so I thought that'd be really cool to go to a ton of try them, go to different places and stuff, and just see how close you can actually come to doing it. And so, like in this tribe, I can only get bit by one ant. They put a whole glove of ants on. It's like bites your hand, and it's like infected for like a month. It's like a big ass hand.
Fuck
But-
that.
but
I'd
it
rather
shows
fight a
them,
lion.
See, that's the cool part too. That'd be kind of cool to see the initiations and stuff. I guess because there's not as much here. And
Do you think if they
as
knew,
much.
so like for instance, those like tribe members that are out there fighting, trying to protect a carcass or whatnot, do you think if they knew what else was out in the world, because technically they've grown up and they haven't known anything more than what's in their village, right? Like maybe they know there's power and there's white people flying overhead in airplanes or whatever. But do you think if they knew as much as Westerners knew of the world, like NASA, space, the war in the Middle East, Europe, traveling, going anywhere in the world you wanted, becoming anything you want to become, if they knew that, do you think they would be willing to take those drugs and go out in the middle of the savannah and fight off lions and hyenas and whatever else is out there?
Probably not. I almost feel, I bet some would definitely still try and do it, but when you get into that area of gentrification, we're running into those problems now where we're taking all of our electronics and dumping them in these like poor locations, and these kids are starting to understand, oh, they're bringing this in, and this does this, and this does this, and they can just grab the junk, and then they just know, hey, this T piece, you put that here, and it makes this piece do this, and they can pretty much teach themselves how to wire up radios, and so there's kids doing... a kid that they took to MIT made some crazy
seen that good
radio station or something for his thing. And basically you're coming to that where they're starting to realize there's this other thing. And so now you're getting people that come from a area where they were sticks and stones and doing almost, primitive technology. They can have a child that will later come back, and have gone into engineering and all this stuff and pretty much be a civil engineer that can design a whole waterway and bring water to his village and stuff. In that same generation, we grew up using sticks and stones and then learn, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, be a civil engineer.
Yeah.
And so in certain areas and stuff, that's the same with some of those places where they're dumping all the electronics. Hey, what the fuck is this?
That was another weird thing is me and my buddy, for some odd reason, we were looking over South Africa, just like looking through the area, and there's this one country that's right in the middle of another country.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess the country that's in the middle is controlled by a bunch of like natives. They're kind of like super primitive. I forgot what they were called, but they're also like super aggressive towards everybody else. And I just went on Google Earth, and if you zoom in on South Africa, you'll see the country. It's right inside of another. And I was zoomed in, and I'm like kind of looking around, and I see a little trail, and I'm like, oh shit, I could see a trail, so I start following it, and then it hits a town, and it's you could tell it's super primitive because it's just little dirt roads everywhere, and then like little round huts everywhere, and I'm just like, oh, that's kind of got to be rare, So I go out, like looking through the town, there's a road leading out, a little dirt road, so I start following that dirt road, and no shit, maybe another 2-3 miles out is another primitive, like little town. Everywhere, they're just dotted everywhere. There's no buildings. It's just huts everywhere. And I was just like, holy shit, dude! Like, I could zoom in on Google Earth and see these people living their lives. It was awesome.
That's kind of cool.
It makes me want to zoom in on like the Amazon forest and shit.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Dude, just see canopy, dude. Just green canopy. And the UFOs that are hidden.
There's got to be like.
I'm pretty sure people
spaces.
have to have combed that with giant combs. There's nothing here. We've combed the entire desert.
We did that because there's the moon, or what is that, Google Moon or something? Is it Google Moon, where they have all the pictures of the moon? You can do that through a lot of parts of it. Or Mars.
There's Google Moon and Google Mars, and on Google Moon, I tried to find the moon landings, and they're blacked out. They're just squares, blacked out squares where the rovers are supposed to be, and the moon landers and everything. They're just blacked out squares. They don't show you shit.
Some shit. They're like, well, you can't see a lot of it. It's all white now because it's bleached from the sun, so it's hard to see it anyways because everything's white and bleached.
So why not still have it there? I'd like to see everything. I don't care if I'm looking at a white flag.
We know we do. I mean, even if it is
the footprints
color,
would still be there
during the day. We'd see all these sides, So
I think the footprints would still be there, and even if you can't see the individual footprint, you might be able to see like the tracks where the rover drove or whatever, right?
Oh yeah.
Or even where the moon or even where the moon landing landed, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you'd see that stuff, but nope. They just put a big old black square right where it's supposed to be, like for 10 miles around. Just, sorry, can't see shit. Restricted.
Classified.
Yeah, and it's just like, why? Why would you do that?
Because there's a building there. There's a bunch of people.
Complex. There's scientists.
It's like Futurama, probably.
Mm-hmm.
A little dome and
It's
all that
just a
badass
dome.
shit.
Cow with a bowl over its head.
That'd be crazy.
I wonder if it is almost basically, just a fallout shelter for.
It's really
Definitely
just
the
a
rich.
Death Star, dude.
Billionaires.
We don't even know it.
Well, the 1% of like the 1%, that they're in a money bracket we can't even like fathom. With the Waltz and Johnson & Johnson and stuff. I mean, they're basically buying out whole areas of states and stuff and countries basically to outprove or show another person from them. So like the Walls converted Johnson & Johnson or something, oh, we have this, this, and this. Oh, we have this, this, and this. And so they're playing crazy games of
Buying up real estate.
Zillions, where they use basically people as pawns, Oh, your company has this much employees and stuff? Well, we'll get this many employees at this much of a rate and stuff.
Oh, you built a company on my land?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much you pay
started
taxes? We
a
have
world
over
war?
our country.
Let me end it.
Let me bring my country into it.
Dude, I would not doubt it if companies would buying out countries.
Robot armies and Google.
That's one thing I can't wait for. I think that'd be really cool to have giant mech armies where each country sends in mechs to
The
fight
mech
each other.
battle's going to start here in August, right? Those
August.
two countries that are building a big mechs are going to fight each other.
Which countries?
I forgot.
I'm assuming one of them's got to be Japan.
Probably, I wouldn't doubt it.
They're
but
building a mobile
I want to
suit.
look into it a little bit more, but I saw it on YouTube.
And they're going to fight to the death?
Not to the death. I don't think anybody's in it. Well, someone might be in it.
So it's going to be just like a big version of, what's the show? Robots?
Oh, Robot Wars or whatever.
Robot Wars?
Probably.
That'd be cool.
Think about that though. Say some of those Robot Wars games like zipping down a street you're on. You're like fire. It's like you're like bouncing off of it. So it's like coming at you with like a saw. It's like
Just
slices part of your leg. You're like medic, medic. There's one that's coming at you. It's kind of like a hammer. Boom! Gets one just right below your eye. Just bam! Smashes your cheekbone.
Ouch.
Kind of screws your face up.
I thought you were going to save me.
Slowly bleeding out. And there's one that's like got a flipper, like fucking flips you over.
Like a spatula right onto
Yeah.
one with a flamethrower.
Yeah, it just like torches you. And then that one comes back with the hammer and just starts freaking sticking
Yeah,
in your
but
butt.
there'll always be that one with the guy that just doesn't know the controls and it's just freaking out in the corner. God damn it.
Hitting the
And
wall.
you're always like, I wonder if that one would have been good.
Yeah.
That one I feel like would have been a good one.
That's more operator than
The design.
The design.
I'm really curious about the design. I feel like that design would have done well.
I definitely like the
Some of the
triangle.
designs are crazy. The wedge one and stuff like does so well. Just flips them over. Oh, it wins.
You know what I would have
What the
designed?
fuck?
I would have designed one with just a bucket of water on top. It just dries and just spills water. Just fries it.
Oh, that'd be so cool. It's got,
Winner.
like magnet. It's like fucking just fries all the computer boards and stuff like that because it pulls all the wires together, fries them.
Oh god, that'd be so great. Nothing is capable of stopping the water drone.
We
It's
should
just
build
a
one. That'd be
bucket.
fun as shit.
It's
It's got a giant squirt gun. It's like
It's just got a hose attached to it, dragging a hose around the arena.
A firefighter hose.
dude, you could probably do it with like jelly or something. It's like just ruins everything. The gears are spinning in there and stuff.
Oh, put a fire extinguisher on top, which just aimed forward, just buries
yeah,
it.
the chemical ones that shoot oil and stuff. It's
It just turns into chemical warfare.
I'm sure there's rules.
just ruin the whole fucking floor. Oh, that'd be the funniest.
Just ruin everything for everybody. Just have a nuclear little emblem on the side of yours. I wonder what this would do. Takes out everything. Winner.
It'd be cool to you just design something. It's pretty good, but it's going to get destroyed and it gets like flipped open. But like have an area maybe where you make it a person or like have a cockpit with people in it. So when the thing smashes it and all of a sudden have like little people fall out, but like have like maybe fake blood and noises that the thing puts up. Oh my god! Like, all the people, the kids watching, it's full of people.
It's got small people in it.
It's like
Start squirting
thinking
out
it's like
blood.
Men in Black. Yeah. Oh my god! Like my god!
Like little G.I. Joes.
Blood all over the place.
The little ones that can like move the joints and stuff everywhere. They just go flying everywhere.
Yeah, there was people piloting it. They're like, drop the remote, freak it. See his
Dead
phone.
dudes everywhere. Little kids are crying. Look what you did.
It'd be fun though. I guess it would be fun to psych out the kids, but to get into something like building robots and doing stuff like that.
Building
because-
mini murder machines, you mean?
Well, that as the drones now, it's becoming a big thing. You order drone parts offline, and next thing you know, you build your own badass drone.
Dude, some of those drones are crazy. They can like lift people.
Fuck yes, I
There's
watched
mini
one-
airplanes, yeah.
Yeah, Casey
Pterodactyls?
Neistat did some shit. He's like surfboarding and stuff, or snowboarding. It's like pulling him up a mountain and shit. He's flying around, jumping and stuff.
They can lift a lot. Some of those drones, the more expensive ones, they can lift a lot of weight. That's why that guy had a Glock mounted on that one.
That's so
And every time he like pulled a little trigger, the Glock would fire. It's like,
It's so badass, though.
Fucking
Not
bull.
really.
It's only
You're
getting
just
better.
taking a run in the park.
What's cool?
Run. Give me your wallet.
Well, if everyone made everything and didn't make it for bad reasons, it would be cool. You know, they're just like shooting some badass stuff or blowing some badass shit up.
Like terrorists.
You'd be like,
Blowing
that's cool,
terrorists.
you know. But when they're not doing it towards each other, that's when it's bad. When it's on a person or whatever, you're like, what the heck? But
That'd be
when
cool
it's
to have
on
drone
stuff,
versus
it's
drone,
cool.
like in the air,
Yeah,
fighting
it'd
each
be way
other.
Cool. It's like shooting each other down.
Dog fights.
That's what I was thinking we should do when we go out to the range.
Shoot a fucking drone.
Yeah, but the little ones.
What, dude? Okay, ballin'. Shit.
Ballin'? No, you
Over
could
here.
buy it's like a $10 little helicopter and just have someone piloting it, trying to like avoid everybody in the little wall, like flying back and forth.
Dude, okay. Well,
Try to
here's
take
some
it down with a
crazy-ass shit.
Mosin. Like you can't go shotgun ham on it. Like try to
not?
take it out with a handgun or something from like 30 meters. It'd be hard as fuck to hit it. I know people have done it. People do it all the time. They have those the gun tournaments where they bring in like 50,000 rounds or whatever, and they just set up a whole bunch of crazy shit and they shoot cars and stuff out there. And they have drones
That'd
like
be
flying
nice.
out there, and the dude's got a minigun. He's like chasing the drone. It's like
Starts going
That'd
towards
be
the
pretty
crowd.
cool. That'd be fun.
he just gets lost.
Oh, most of the crowd.
That's not funny at all.
I don't know. It'd be. I'd like to try it, but I mean, when there's some crazy ass shit, my boss was doing some shit where.
DMT?
No, he wanted us to dispose of some spray cans or whatever. He was like telling some of the drivers, he said, we got to dispose of these, but we got to dump the paint out and stuff. And told one of the older dudes, hey, go home and like get your BB gun, because then they were talking about it. And so they were going to get like a BB gun where he was going to first puncture a hole. He's like, if you can try and puncture it, but it might explode in your hand. And then pour the paint out into a bucket. And then he's like, well, that won't work because if we poke it, it'll pop, you know. So if we set it back, shoot it, and then let the air go out, then you take it and then pour the paint out. And I came after
smart.
lunch, and that's exactly what I said. I was like, have you ever shot a paint? Because that was the same thing. I'm like, hey man, we go shooting all the time. We shoot empty cans that have no more air, no anything in it. You shoot it in the top, and it goes boom, like it detaches from itself, and paint still goes flying everywhere, air still goes flying everywhere, and they're empty. It just doesn't. You just don't shoot it, and you just don't pour it out and stuff. And he's like, well, maybe we can put it in a can and like shoot it, and it'll shoot in the can and stuff. I'm like, it'll probably spin around the can and fly out of there like a rocket right at you, you know. Well, there's no way any of this is safe and stuff. He's like, what are we supposed to do with this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, first I said, I'm like, I'll take any of the colors out. I mean, you don't want. And so I ended up taking a bunch of badass colors and stuff that he didn't want. But he still has some there. And I was telling him, well, I'll take some shooting. So if we go shooting, we don't need drones. We can just...
Hell
Fuck,
yeah.
dude, I want to shoot a drone. I think that'd be cool.
just put it like some of the spray cans on it. So when you shoot, it's like... It's like wounded. You're like, oh, got one.
Dude, that's silly. I don't know what they're fucking trying to save paint, dude. Fucking
Dude, yeah, that's what I was saying. And that's the thing, too. I'm like, don't we pay hazard pay? I mean, what is it? How do we dispose of things?
there's a machine that like compresses it and
Yeah, isn't there one like that at the
takes it
dump
apart.
that does something? I swear there's one at the dump where you can take compressed things and
empty them out.
flammable and all kinds of stuff like that. And so I know there's a spot for that.
There's just a redneck in a truck.
Yeah, I'll break them shits with a hammer.
Yeah,
right now.
I fucking hit it with my pocket knife. That's my favorite. He's a little red. You just a little gold.
Yeah, it's
A little green.
Pop it and hail.
just has strips and different strips on his friggin'. You see like the patterns, almost like an everlasting gobstopper. Wow, you busy at work today? Yeah, I can't see very well.
But I'm high as shit.
Yeah, it's hot. You know I love you. You just come over from work. You smell so good. Yeah. Oh, well, shit, dude. On that note, should we wrap it up? Call it a night.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. I gotta get to bed.
Yeah, it's been
dude.
late, man. We're pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty tired. We're sleeping on no sleep.
Sleeping on no sleep.
God damn.
Going
Heard that.
24/7.
We should did.
Slap hands now.
What a did.
Yeah.
Slap hands. What the fuck?
Let's go
on,
crush
slap
some
hands, slap hands.
cans.
Let's go crush some cans.
Yeah, where can people find you crushing cans?
Fuck, dude.
You're like, fuck, dude, anywhere. You porn.
Dude, I crush cans everywhere. I crush cans outside. I crush cans inside. I crush cans outside.
I ask people to crush the can.
I ask other people to crush cans. One time I was crushing a can, and a man came up to me and said, "What you doing? I'm like, crush cans."
No, you can't be crushing no cans. It's like, I am. Where can people find you crush cans? On Twitch?
On Twitch at PS40.
How about you?
Patreon. Just dig it.
Hell yeah, just dig it.
Yeah, dude. Get to the center, dude.
I thought we were trying to get to the other side.
Yeah, get to the other side or something, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's right. Get to the other side. Fuck, dude. I almost lost.
really?
I almost blew my cover there.
Yeah. Oh, wait, was it still Patreon still going? No, just kidding.
Oh, shit.
I've never even been on there. We should maybe, that'd be cool. Check it out.
Maybe.
But yeah, you can always save yourself some cash on some beard oil. 25% off, Lost Mines. Save yourself some cash on Lyft, Brick 801. Yeah, slap hands. See you next time.
Smash a can.
Transaction time is 3,600 years. Delivery time 3,600 years to Earth.
What are you gonna do when you get to Earth?
I'm gonna fap so hard.
What are you gonna use for fapping?
And oil,
What kind?
bath beard oils. I hear it's good for the skin.
Where can I get some?
At BrickAnderson.com. Under the tab Lost Mines. Get your beard oil.
Bitches.